Well, let's go back now to our conversation with Neeshan Bolton from the Ahmed Kathrada Foundation around the 6 people who've been suspended, 3 who've left the Gauteng Health Department following the scandal at Tembisa Hospital. Neeshan, I'm glad you're with us again. Do you believe that the department is actually now making proper progress in this?
It's progress, although it's slow and without an indication of how they're going to deal with the second issue that we've raised, which requires that there is some action against all the companies identified by Babita and their possible blacklisting. It's our sense that those companies have continued to trade with the hospital and perhaps with the health department and maybe even with the provincial government. Now, as a minimum, those companies needed to have been blacklisted whilst all of the investigations still proceed. So on that issue, they certainly haven't moved at all.
We've known about this corruption for 2 years. It was only a year ago, so August 2022, that the CEO of the Tembisa Hospital, Dr. Ashley Mthunzi, was suspended. It's only now that these 6 officials are suspended. Is there any rational reason that it could take a whole extra year to suspend these officials? They will have been making supply decisions all through this time.
No, I think you and I and the general public know about the malaise within the leadership of the public sector and why cases like this drag, because we really have to look at who the beneficiaries were and who those beneficiaries are allegedly linked to in terms of who they fund and what they fund and their political connections. So I'm not surprised. I think if you look at the statement that came out from the Department of Health, we are of the view that had we not closed this petition, which has gotten now close to about 15,000 signatures, the statement itself would have not come out. Although the suspensions took place towards the end of last month, but they had not seen any reason to make it public, and I doubt they would even have kept the Gauteng family informed about progress or their next steps. So as much as it's progress, I think it's almost being dragged out of them to appear to be doing something. But nevertheless, we will follow the proceedings and begin to heighten the accountability calls.
Even the disciplinary hearing for Ashley Mthunzi, Dr. Mthunzi, suspended in August last year. The first hearing was held in August this year, so 12 months of suspension before the first hearing. Then it's postponed. I'm sorry, Neeshan, even by our standards, I find that amazing.
I think we live in a country as a whole where things get dragged out without reason, without explanation. Like you, I'm failing to understand why this was not regarded as a priority and acted speedily. Let me just give you an example of the tardiness. Towards the last year, around about this time, I had to convene a meeting between the Gauteng family and the former DG in the office of the Premier, just for the family to understand how they could go about claiming her benefits. They had been given the runaround for almost a year, and until the former DG came in and instructed the health officials to take this thing seriously, there had been no movement. So it is a general sense of malaise, tardiness, and it's the kind of uncaring attitude that I think unfortunately has become so prevalent.
I have to ask, do you believe the Gauteng Health Department, do you believe the Gauteng Health MEC when she says she's determined to fight corruption, that things are getting better?
Frankly, I don't. I hope that I'm proven wrong, but I don't. And I say that because, you know, what has happened at Tembisa is likely happening across all other hospitals, and I don't get the sense that is being the wide scale of this is being understood or even probed, and the necessary capacity being built to deal with it, if indeed it has extended beyond Tembisa.
What would it take to restore your faith, Neeshan? I mean, I presume it would take stronger and quicker action. I mean, it would also take proper justice for Tembisa Hospital, who gave her life for this in the end.
Well, I think firstly it would be a clearer commitment about their stance towards whistleblowers per se. Secondly, it's about a clear commitment and the blacklisting of companies, the naming, the shaming of them, and legal steps to recoup the monies where that is necessary. And I think thirdly is to deal with the range of officials who are implicated not only in this, but in the wider set of issues that would have led to a death and the general corruption within the health department. I think we need to see people in orange overalls, in short. That's ultimately what I think would ease my mind and perhaps that of many other South Africans.
Neeshan Bolton, thank you, Executive Director of the Ahmed Kathrada Foundation. Do appreciate the time. An important story, very slow in terms of developments there.